Awesome. Well, we'll give everybody to start a minute to start funneling in, and but the whole point of this is for this to be a really interactive demo and show you guys all of the efficiencies that are coming your way. So, Matt, you want to dive in?
Yes, ready. There are two Matts on the Zoom, so I keep getting confused if it's me or somebody else.
All right, so I'll stop for a second and let you take it away, Matt B. I'm excited. Go ahead.
Perfect. So I run marketing at Keeper. I started here just a couple months ago, and Keeper is a relatively new startup. And I felt like I sort of took a chance and a gamble coming to a new startup and was excited to dive in. I'd heard good things, and I met up with a customer, and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know nobody likes Keeper." And I was like, "Ow, take the knife out of my back. This is insane. I just bet my whole life on this." And he said, "No, people love Keeper. No one just likes it. Keeper saves people so much time that people are just ecstatic about the product." So with that, I just wanted to go through a couple of the key features as why people like the product so much. So we'll talk really about what is Keeper, a quick high-level overview, and then we'll dive into a handful of the key features that make Keeper so helpful for firms. We'll talk for a second about whatever resources and support are available to our customers. We'll go through pricing. Spoiler alert, it's really simple and straightforward, and then talk about how to get started. So with that, let's open it up with a poll to get things going. This is I want to get a feel for how many tools does your firm pay for today? We're talking about software products. Um, I don't necessarily need Google Sheets, for example, if that's a free product. But I just want a ballpark answer of about how many tools does a firm pay for?
I'm really curious to see what the answer to this, just while we're giving everybody a minute to make sure they get in this first poll question. This is a conversation that we just started having in our practice. And I kind of shared with you guys when we were talking last week, too, that, we're feeling like we've gotten to the point where we've collected a lot of these different softwares and it's getting a little disjointed. And we're now trying to look at like where is some of that duplication and actually losing the efficiency, which was one of the reasons why I was so excited to look at Keeper with you guys.
Yeah, a lot of people, I feel like, almost need a computer science degree just to manage their tech stack
So
because
true.
there's so many and there's so many integrations between them all, and it just gets a little bit complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll give everybody like 10 more seconds to just pop an answer in there. And then we'll go ahead and close that out if we can and see what we get for responses.
I do have a guess. I'm curious if I'm right. This is less than I expected. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's actually
firms,
less than I expected too.
I would have expected more people to be 11 or more.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely feels that way to us a lot of the times. I think if we start considering like all the different tools in terms of firm management, like when you start thinking about like payroll software and email and all of those things, I bet you it's a lot more than 0 to 5. But
And this is good as well because this could mean that people are doing a lot of things homegrown, using a lot of like internal tools that can be a lot easier to automate through Keeper. Okay, let's jump to. I've got one more poll question just to get a feel for the audience as well. Um, Sometimes I break firms into two sides. So which statement best describes your firm's goals for growth? And really, the first is I want to increase profitability without increasing my total number of clients. So really improve your margins. And the second
mm,
is to grow through a volume of clients, having a bigger firm, more employees, um, and growing that way. Or C, maybe these don't apply to people.
that's a really interesting question. I and like such a timely part of year for people to think about like which ways are you looking to grow into 2025, because those are two totally different things.
Christine, I'm curious, do you have an answer for your firm?
Yeah, I think that we're probably an A, to be honest. I mean, we spent a lot of years in B, and I think especially for younger firms, that's where a lot of time is spent. And it's hard, especially when you're building a tax practice. It's almost hard to avoid B. So, we're grateful to have gotten to a place where we can be a little bit more niche focused in our practice, but that's not always the case. So,
And there's no right or wrong answer.
yeah,
The question of where your firm is. Okay,
yeah,
let's look at responses.
yeah, for sure.
Hey,
Wow,
50-50.
it's pretty
There we
split.
go. See?
Cool.
That's fascinating. Okay, all right. Let's jump into a couple feature sections then. So with that, really, Keeper is known for two things. First, at a high level, we are a practice management tool built for bookkeepers, and so we approach the problem from how do we simplify the task of closing the books, and we built a product to do that, and we've expanded our feature set from there. And so really we are known for saving our clients time. A lot of people say that they cut the time it takes to close the books in half. And then second, a lot of people also love the fact that we consolidate a handful of tools. And so whatever number of tools you're using, frequently we can cut that number in half as well. And let's show you how. But first, our good friend, friend of the company, Jason Stats, recently said, if you're a bookkeeper, the Keeper dashboard is probably the single most useful view in our profession, which is high praise from Jason. And I'll show you what he means. Basically, our dashboard, our home screen, is the entire practice at a glance, where you can see all of your clients in a single place, as well as all of their closed progress, any ongoing chats with those clients, and you can add a handful of custom tags as well. So if you wanted to track what their service tier is, or their industry, or revenue, or whatever else, this allows you to quickly and easily see where everything is at. Um, I know a lot of people are frustrated to really get a pulse of where their business is. They've got to ask a couple people, they've got to look through multiple sources of information, and it just wastes needless time. One more quote just to hammer this home. Hector Garcia, another user of Keeper, said, "As a manager of an accounting practice, within one click, I can see where everybody stands. I can't ask for anything else." So that gives him sort of the bird's eye view of all of his clients and all of his practice. And Hector's a busy guy. He needs to have all that information aggregated for him as quickly and easily as possible.
For sure.
Let's jump into the features now. So, Christine, you and I were talking a week ago, and I sort of walked through the scenario, and you just laughed like, yes, you're describing my life. So,
You were.
um, what we talked about was it's the end of the month, and you export a spreadsheet of transactions that you need to categorize. Right now they're uncategorized. You export them into a spreadsheet, you email them to your client downloads them, adds comments, emails them back to you. You go in and update QuickBooks. And odds are most people on this phone call have experienced that at some point or another. And what I'm excited to say is Keeper really uh, takes that process and automates it and makes it entirely hands off. So we do that by creating a client portal that your clients will actually log into and actually use. So you can see here that within that portal, your clients can ask questions, they can upload documents, but you can also automate messages to your client to say, hey, this week there are 7 transactions that need to be categorized. They click on a link, they come in here, they categorize them, and that is all then automatically synced back to QuickBooks and Xero. And so
This is
I can
my
save so
favorite
much
part,
time.
and I don't want to interrupt you, but this
Yeah,
was
no,
like
go
one of
ahead.
my favorite things that we talked about last week. So I really just want to highlight for everybody what you just said, because so many practices, us included, especially when we're doing both bookkeeping and tax preparation, like the hardest part of getting to the tax preparation is having everything ready to actually prepare the return. And you're constantly waiting for clients to get back to you. And it's just like this this list of transactions that has grown throughout the year that they've never answered, or they'll answer sporadically once every 4 months. And then that constant checking back of like, I have to say, hey, John, where are you at with this client? And John's like, well, I have 4 months of Ask My Accountant transactions, and I've resent the spreadsheet to Joe 4 times, and Joe's never answered me. And this just cuts all of that back and forth out. And the fact that they can go in, the clients can go in themselves, tell us where those transactions are supposed to go, and that automatically updates QuickBooks is like a mind-blowing time saver for our entire team.
And along with that, they can also upload receipts, documents, anything like that. So your documents aren't spread through all of those same email threads and text threads as well.
Which is a whole other
A
dissertation
whole
and
new,
whole
yeah.
other whole other
We
webinar.
will get to
But
that in a minute as well.
this feature
Um,
is just amazing.
the thing that is really helpful is you can also automate it and say every 7 days, send an email to my client if there are any uncategorized transactions. And so it just works while you sleep. It just happens. Your client's getting those reminders without you having to, check if those transactions have been updated and send that message. And a lot of people say, "Hey, I can't even get my client to answer my email. There's no chance they're going to log into this portal and do it." And I would say to that, our clients do actually love the fact that their clients log into the portal. So we use magic links, and so all they have to do is click the link in their email, and they're taken to that portal. They don't have to remember a username and password, and so it just simplifies. It just removes all those barriers that keep someone from actually doing it. One more tidbit, we recently launched a mobile app, and so um, you don't have to have your own mobile app. This can be branded to your firm, and it allows your customers to do everything they need to do in the client portal, but on the go on their phone. And so it just makes your firm seem a lot more polished and legitimate as well to offer a mobile app.
That's really beautiful. And I noticed too, on that screen, like you can leave announcements for clients, they can schedule a meeting with you. So it just really makes that ease of communication just all one location very nice.
It just makes it easier for them to be your client, which is ideal, right?
Yes.
Then they're more likely to stay and less likely to look for a new accountant. Let's jump into the file reviews as well. So we have an integrated file review tool that basically sits on top of your books and looks for any anomalies. So it might say the last 9 times you bought something from For All Promos, it was listed as marketing supplies. For whatever reason, this month it's listed is listed as marketing. This month is office supplies. Is that what you wanted? And it just looks for anything that might be out of place and allows you to keep your books clean without really any extra effort on your part. And let's jump to the integrations as well. Keeper is one of the only tools that has read and write capabilities with QuickBooks and Xero. So that basically means anything from the ledger comes into Keeper. Any edits done in Keeper are written back to QuickBooks, and that happens in real time. So you don't need to export data and import it into another system. It all is just integrated. And so even comments made in Keeper are then written back to QuickBooks or to Xero. And then for other tools, we use Zapier to integrate with other tools that might be part of your custom tech stack.
Amazing.
And then Christine, we also talked about it's 1099 season,
I
which
was
might
just going to
be
ask you about this, but I didn't want to jump ahead. So yes, I'm so excited that we're going to talk about the 1099s too.
if Christmas is this happy time, 1099 season is just the opposite. We've got to track down all the people that our clients did business with throughout the year. Because Keeper can see all of those transactions, we can basically go back through and say whether or not someone meets the threshold of needing a 1099. And then you basically are provided a list of those people. You can automatically request any W-9s or documents you need from those clients. And that can be from their vendor or from your client directly. And then that, again, once you get that document, that information is updated into QuickBooks. And then however you file it, it's easy to export it and send it to Track 1099 or whatever other tool you use to file that.
This is such a huge time saver just in and of itself because 1099s are such a an issue. And I know not every firm does them because they're so problematic. And a lot of it is just collecting the W-9s and identifying which of the vendors you need to actually get one. And a lot of accounting firms don't want to be responsible for it because it's just this annoying time consuming task and we're not necessarily charging a lot of money for it, but this just makes the profitability even on a small project go up at the same time that we're able to provide a lot more value to our clients because we took this annoying, very time consuming task completely off of their plates as well as ours.
And these are the types of tasks that inhibit a firm where you
Yeah.
spend so much time doing this, but it
Yeah.
doesn't help you grow. It doesn't improve your margins. Either way, this is just sort of busy work that really
Yes.
doesn't need to be done by firm management.
Yeah, this is awesome. And just, like I said, the value to the clients too, the fact that they're able to just automate that process of collecting their W-9s is just a huge value. And a lot of times, even if it's not necessarily a project that's adding a huge profitability, it is, like you said, just helping to solidify that relationship where, now my client is saying, well, why would I go somewhere else?
Yeah,
Christine has made it so convenient for me with these tools that she has available.
100%. And I forget, do you do any receipt management for your clients?
We try not to, but that is another necessary evil as part of bookkeeping. And honestly, like if we are able to build an easy receipt management, it's another one of those value add for them and for us, right? So we're providing an opportunity for document management for them at the same time that it helps us be better bookkeepers because we have access to that information. So yeah, please talk about this as well because this is great.
So this is one of our biggest new features of 24 or 2024, and everyone's been loving it. So really, we have now the ability to add receipt management capability and general document management capabilities into the portal. So let's just say someone's got a receipt, they can either upload it into the mobile app, they can text it to a phone number, they can email it to your firm's phone email address, and all of those receipts will get automatically processed, posted, and matched to those transactions and end up back in QuickBooks. And so again, it's another firm or it's another value your firm can charge for, but it just makes it very simple and very easy for your firm. Let's
This is awesome.
let's look at one actual flow. So let's just say you send a message to your client and saying, what is this transaction? What does this vendor do? Anything like that. They can reply back and attach the file. And basically, we've got our rules that will scan it and add it to the correct transaction. So I just heard horror stories of people having receipts in a text thread with their clients, an email thread. Sometimes they have a like a paper stack somewhere. And we're not the first ones to invent this, but the fact that we can reduce the number of tools you need and combine it into one just adds a lot of simplicity to your business.
For sure. And I know from like talking to our audience over the last couple of months and a lot of our tax talks, like communication and collection of documents is the number one time suck for a lot of these firms. And so this is again just another one of these tools where we can reduce down that document collection process. And like you're talking to our firm, same thing that we talked about last week. That's exactly what's happening to us is clients will sometimes email one person, they'll upload something else to a portal, and now you've got like three or four different places that information could be going, or three or four different people. And that is a huge inefficiency in the practice.
And again, just to hammer the point home, uh, maybe you have some turnover in your firm and those receipts are buried in somebody's personal
Yes.
iPhone, then you got to get those documents a second time, which
Yep.
just adds more of a headache.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly just about the support resources that are available to our customers. The first point is we have we have a team of US based support representatives that are really truly fantastic. They're available to hop on the phone, troubleshoot. They spend a lot of time onboarding and making sure that all these features are being used correctly and set up accurately. And then on top of that, we have a Facebook group with about 4,000 users that are constantly engaging, saying how do you use this feature? I've got this issue. Can somebody improve the product? And so we're updating the product really every Wednesday with new features based on what people in our user group are asking for. So it's sort of those little itty bitty details that we probably wouldn't know as software developers, but because we're in such close communication with our users, it just makes the product that much better. And then you as a customer are not limited to chatting in with us. You can really hear from thousands of your peers and know how they're using the tool. We also have a lot of
That was
fantastic tutorials. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I cut you off. That was one of my favorite things about you guys actually when we were talking last week is that emphasis on listening to your user group. And when, you guys were talking about like when you see the same comment made over and over and over again, there's this recognition on your end to say, okay, we need to update the software because this is something that people are commonly experiencing and asking for, which is a far cry from our experience with a lot of our software vendors where we're like, hey, this feature would be really great, or we really need to see this. And you don't necessarily have a channel to have those things happen.
And I didn't make a slide for this, but I've got a funny story, or I guess a good story, where because of comments in our Facebook group and feedback from our customers, we realized that people just had a lot of tax questions and they didn't have a fantastic place to go. And so we just launched a free tool that anyone can use called Keeper Research Assistant, which is basically a tax AI chat widget inside the product that um, you can ask a tax question and it will reply with an answer and append the source of where that information came
Oh,
from.
wow. I love
And it's
that.
free to anybody. You don't have to be a Keeper user. You might as well add that to your list of resources to bookmark.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
And we probably wouldn't have had that insight without hearing from our customers. So
Yeah, for sure.
okay, let's talk pricing. Our pricing is publicly available. It's on our website. There's no gotchas. There's no secret here. So let's just say a firm has 20 clients. We allow them to pick and choose which clients they want to use Keeper for, and you only pay for the clients that you're using on a monthly basis. So you could even just start with 10 clients. You'd pay $100 a month. And if you add a client next month, you could pay an extra $10. If you lose a client, you would cancel that. So truly we're only making money when you are making money and have revenue coming in. There's unlimited users. You don't have any restrictions on how many people in your firm can be using the product. If you have more than 50 clients, we do have some bulk discounts available. And then our receipts is an add-on. So let's just say for those 20 clients, maybe only two of them you do document management for. You just pay an extra $30 for those two users.
I have to say from a pricing standpoint, like, because I know that we have a big mix in our audience. We have some in our audience that are doing bookkeeping, some are solely tax focused, some are doing both. From a pricing standpoint, like even if I was a tax only practice, if I'm doing tax preparation for small business clients that are using QuickBooks and Xero, the price point on this is honestly so low. Don't raise it, but so low that the efficiency is still like the value and the efficiency still far exceeds what I'm paying to have Keeper as a tool in my toolbox, even if I'm not doing the bookkeeping, to just help my clients be more organized and closed faster at the end of the year so that I can start prepping returns faster. So even if I'm only a tax only practice, there is huge loss efficiency when I have to constantly extend my returns because my clients' books aren't ready, right? Like, and nobody
100%.
wants to be doing tax season in September and October, at least not here in the Northeast because it's beautiful out in September and October and not so much in February and March. But there's this whole lost efficiency for constantly having to wait for the clients to get organized, the clients to get ready. They're procrastinators. We love them, but they're procrastinators. And this tool and the price point makes sense to offer, even just as a value add to help drive the efficiency, even in a tax only practice. Such value to small business clients.
Many of our customers are saving 10 or 15 hours a month per client. And even if you only save 15 minutes per client, it's
Yeah.
probably it's probably still a positive ROI. So our pricing is pretty simple. and it's sort of what you see is what you get. It's the type of pricing that really anybody can get started with.
I was told where I didn't have to send the spreadsheets anymore for my accountant transactions. So this is awesome. I don't want to jump too early. So I want to make sure, though, I saw a couple questions pop into
Yeah,
the
let's do it.
Q&A box. So before you guys wrap up anything, I just want to make sure that if our audience has any more questions that you want to make sure that you get in for Matt or Madison, make sure that you pop those into the Q&A and we'll make sure that we get those answered. But Matt, go ahead and finish up, wherever you were at.
Yeah, the final slide is basically Keeper is really easy to get started. Even if you just wanted to start with one firm, you can do that. You can go to the website and get started. You can either scan the QR code if you've got your phone handy, or just go to keeper.app and do the book demo. And then just for our purposes, if you can mention Tax Academy, that just makes things easier. So we can keep track of how everybody heard about us. Um, and really, there are so many people who are saving hours and hours every month by using Keeper and reducing the number of tools and complexity in their firm. It just feels like a no-brainer to test it, and there's such a low barrier to entry to just try it. People might as well give it a go. So with that, we
Yeah,
can open it back up to Q&A.
I was going to say that was actually one of my questions, and I know the answer to this, but I want to make sure the audience knows the answer to this because we're in December, so tax season's going to start in about a month or so. I know dirty words that we don't want to say before the holidays, but it's coming. Um, is the implementation process such that if somebody still wanted to implement this even before tax season, that it would be reasonable for them to do that?
Yeah, really, the implementation process is about an hour. Um,
Awesome.
and so like obviously it's going to take a little bit more work to transition from whatever documents you might be using, but
Sure.
it's very simple. And so I would say now is almost the perfect time to do it, just to make sure you'll save so much time come tax season
Yeah.
if your clients' books are clean going into 2025.
I love it. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to give everybody like one more minute to make sure that if you have any final questions for Matt and Madison, that you pop those into the Q&A box. I so appreciate you guys being here. I didn't know anything about Keeper before we had a chance to talk, and I'm like so excited. I immediately, after we talked last week, like sent it to the rest of the practice, and I was like, everybody needs to look at this. I'm so excited about it. I don't want to use spreadsheets anymore.
It's a surprisingly well-kept secret. And so it's
We're going to
exciting
tell
to
everybody.
share
We're
people.
going to
Yeah,
tell
exactly.
everybody.
Exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think that Madison, you got a chance to ask all or answer all of the Q&As that I saw come in. And this is the best way for people to reach out to you is if they have follow-up questions as well as to scan this QR code. Okay, perfect. And we'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of the slide deck and we'll have a recording of the webinar. So if you think of something after the fact and you want to get a hold of Matt or Madison, we'll have that information available to you. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, Christine.
Yeah, thank you
Aw-
guys.
Awesome. Have a great day. Keep those Christmas trees safe.